What's up guys, my name is Justin SHANHOLTZER. I'm here with BECKLEY'S RVs and today we're going to be doing a quick walk around on the 2021 Grand Design Imagine XLS 22 MLE. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing for a ton of new content and lots of good information. Stay tuned. All right guys, so today we chose the Imagine 22 MLE because it's one of our most popular floor plans that we have here at the dealership. One of the main reasons as to why it's been so popular for a lot of our clients is the size. So it's about 26 foot overall length from that tongue to the back bumper, and the weight is about 5,230 pounds dry, which makes this towable by some mid to large size SUVs, meaning you don't need a large truck in order to tow this thing. All right guys, so we're standing outside here on the camp side of this Imagine 22 MLE. First thing I want to point out is how large this awning is. I mean, it takes up almost the entire sidewall of the trailer. You know, I'm imagining us being able to pull up a picnic table and be able to enjoy, staying out of the sun, but then also too, maybe having some coolers outside. There's just tons of space, which offers a ton of flexibility for the outside use of this thing. All right, so at the back right side of the Imagine, right on your awning side, we've got a propane quick connect right here. So this runs a plumbing line all the way up to the two 20-pound propane bottles that we have up front. And what this gives us the ability to do is bring our own portable grill and be able to plug right into this using the propane up front to hang out, cook on the stovetop, and enjoy our company while we're outside having a good time with our friends and family. So one thing we didn't touch on is the exterior black tank flush. It's just what it sounds like. It's a way for us to flush out the inside of the black tank. The problem is over time, if you do not sanitize or clean the inside of the black tank, there are small sensors that tells you how full the tanks are, all by a control panel inside. Those sensors will collect a lot of debris, and over time, if you're not cleaning it out, it'll give you a false reading. So the cool thing with this is you'll be able to just simply hook up a water connection to this. That'll begin spraying out the inside of the black tank, and then that'll help flush everything out and prevent you from running into any of those issues in the future. So the back of the Imagine, you guys can see up top, it's pre-wired for a backup camera. So that backup camera that you'd want to use is manufactured by a company called Furrion. You can get a Furrion camera with a few different screen sizes. You can get it in a 4.3 all the way up to a 7-inch in size. So the way that it works is that camera will plug in right up top there, and then on the inside of your vehicle, that screen we were just talking about will plug into your 12-volt cigarette outlet. As long as you have your running lights turned on inside of the vehicle, that'll give you the ability to operate that camera, meaning it's not just a backup camera, it's actually a true observation camera. So it'll be on all the time when you're traveling down the road. So I get a lot of questions from clients as to why they put a ladder on the back of trailers. The purpose for it is to be able to climb up top on the roof in order to do your proper maintenance with these things. The only thing that's keeping water from getting on the inside of these trailers is clear silicone that pretty much runs all the way around the sidewalls of the coach, and then there's self-leveling lap sealant that sits up top on the roof. So it's very, very important that you guys run up there roughly every 90 days and do a visual inspection to ensure that those seals haven't been compromised. That way you can prevent water from intruding on the inside of the trailer. The other cool thing that Grand Design does is they do something that's called a laminated slide out. So what that translates to is the same way that they make the sidewall of their trailer is the same way that they construct their slide outs. The reason why this is important to you is because this gives it the strength or the stability to actually give you the ability to stand up on top of the slide and be able to perform any maintenance as needed. If a manufacturer does not construct their slide out the way that this is made, then it does not give it the strength for you guys to safely stand up top there. And with anything, we always recommend use caution. Certainly wouldn't have a party up there, but again, it's just simply gonna be used for that maintenance. So I love the location of all the hookups throughout this Imagine. First off, on the back here, you can see this is where your electric will plug in at. The electric, by the way, on this coach is a 30 amp, 120 volt service, and the cord that comes along with it's approximately 25 to 30 feet long. So you probably shouldn't need an extension cord for this. Now the next thing is going to be the location of your black/gray tank drainage outlet. So all that stuff is right back here in this back corner. So if we pull into a campground at night, what's really nice, they give you a little exterior LED light, so that way we're not having to hook up our sewage hose down here to the drainage outlet. By the way, you've got 2 gray tanks on this trailer along with 1 black tank. So the 2 gray tanks is gonna give you a much greater capacity to be able to go off grid for longer periods of time without having to dump out those gray tanks. Now up front, you guys should absolutely see where their water connection's at. So this is a really big deal for Grand Design because your Grand Design product is gonna be something that is better insulated in comparison to pretty much every other manufacturer in the industry. And part of what they're trying to accomplish is all this pass-through storage area inside here is all very well insulated. The other unique thing is inside here, this is where they put your fresh water tank inlet or your city water connection. So the cool thing is we'll be able to run all of our hoses up and through the bottom here. And then we'll be able to plug right into our city water connection. And then that'll give us the ability to close this door off and then keep this a little bit better insulated on days like today. And that'll prevent everything from the inside from freezing. But with anything, we always ask that you use some precautions whenever you're using this. Right here is gonna be really where you're gonna mainly hook up a lot of your items. So the first thing I want to discuss is your city water connection. So the city water connection is us plugging in directly at the campground with a white water hose. Now, you also have a fresh water tank that sits on the inside of the trailer as well. The fresh water tank is used for us to bring water with us, meaning if we know we're going to a place or a campground that doesn't have any water, we're gonna wanna fill that fresh water tank before we leave. That way we have water when we get to the campground. The reason why I point that out to you is because this has something that's called a fresh tank fill. So most of the time, you would hook up to a separate connection to fill up that fresh water tank. But the unique thing here is, let's just say you're out on a camping trip. Let's say you're finishing up breaking down camp. You were plugged into the city water connection here, but then the next campground that you're gonna be going to, you know, is not gonna have any water. Well, the unique thing here is instead of us disconnecting this whole hose and having to take that over to the other side to fill up the fresh water tank, well, instead they give you this little flip valve right here. So ideally what you do is you'd stop the pressure at the campground to stop the water from going in. Then we're just gonna simply flip that fresh tank fill to the up position. We'll turn back on the water pressure and that'll begin filling the inside of the fresh water tank. It's also pressurized, so it'll fill up that fresh water tank much quicker in comparison to the other fresh tank fill. All right guys, so we're inside the Imagine. Simply want to talk to you today why this has been one of our most popular floor plans out here at the dealership. So the biggest thing is floor plan. To start off, all inside of a 26-foot long trailer, they give you a good sized dinette, but then also theater seating inside. So this small dinette will convert into a bed, so you could sleep up to 3 people on the inside of the trailer. But then also directly across from the dinette, you've got big, comfy theater seats. So I'm just thinking about maybe coming back from a long day. I've been in an all hot summer, heat, and I just want to relax and hang out. I could sit back in here, recline, directly across from a TV, just like at home. This is camping. So the next reason is the kitchen inside of this thing is fantastic. It's got tons of storage, lots of counter space. So just kind of show you to start off, this refrigerator is an 8 cubic foot refrigerator. Most of the trailers in this size and price point are typically only giving you a 6, maybe a 7 cubic foot refrigerator. So that'll be plenty to put all of your camping needs inside. The next thing is you got a little bit of counter space next to the cooktop. It's always a pain when there's a wall that's right here and the only thing that you can do is cook, and then you got to take all that stuff and drag it to another location. So that's really nice having that counter space that's right there. And speaking of counter space, you still got a ton over here next to where the sink is located. This sink too is massive. It's a big stainless steel farm style sink. I prefer this over the 50-50 split sinks because you can bring big pots and pans. You can clean pretty much any of the dishes that you need. Versus if you have that 50-50 split sink, unfortunately it's not quite big enough to be able to clean any of those larger utensils and appliances. The other thing is storage, as I was telling you guys about. Tons of cabinetry inside of this thing. Both overhead, but then also down below. You got big storage drawers. And even a big pots and pans drawer down below. So I'm really impressed with the amount of storage that they put inside of such a small size travel trailer. And then right off to the right here is where your bathroom location is. Remember, we're camping, so the bathroom doesn't need to be too large. However, if you wanted to look inside there, it's actually a pretty decent size. It's got a big, tall shower. So I'm about maybe 5'10", and I got shoes on, so make me a little taller. And I got plenty of room. You know, good wingspan. I probably wouldn't shower this way. I'd probably try and shower this way. It'd be a little better. But then if you see over here too, still got some counter space right next to the sink. You know, a lot of times they don't give you any of that. If you can't tell, I like counter space. And then of course, tons of storage up top here, both in the medicine cabinet, but then also over there to the left side. All right, so in a lot of 25-foot or shorter travel trailers, in order for them to be able to achieve everything that they've done inside here, a lot of times they'll give you a Murphy bed up front. Some people love and hate them. However, I love this because it's a full-size residential queen bed. It's 60 by 80 inches, and there's nothing to fold up or down inside of this thing. Plus, it also gives you some storage underneath. And I love the gas struts here to keep the bed up. A lot of lesser expensive models won't provide that to you. And then you got a little slidable drawer here. So it makes for some really unique storage underneath there too. And then something that I've always loved about these is they give you 2 storage drawers underneath of your hanging closet. A lot of times they'll just give you 1 hanging closet, maybe a drawer, or maybe no hanging closet at all. But then because they give you all this storage, they don't sacrifice with little bedside nightstands. So both you and a friend or you and a spouse could simply set a cell phone inside there, plug them into your charging center, and be able to charge your phones. And they also give you a cool little night light for up top here too. So another issue inside of a lot of these smaller size travel trailers is they typically just don't have the additional sleeping for either friends or family to come along with you. This offers that. So not only do you get some bedroom privacy up front here with a curtain, but then also too, that separates it from the dinette having the ability to drop down. And this dinette is a telescoping dinette. So you literally just pull these 2 handles here, and that gives you the ability to simply push this guy right down and make right into your bed. Versus a lot of times, these will have poles inside of there that you have to remove, and it's just kind of difficult and not very user-friendly. This is super easy to do. You just throw your cushions right on top, and that'll convert into your small size bed. Awesome. So new for 2021, Grand Design introduced something called Compass Connect. So Compass Connect is a new app that they've manufactured and put a lot of hard time and lots of hours into. The cool thing is everything that's on here on this main monitor panel, you have the ability to connect your cell phone to via Bluetooth, and that'll give you the ability to operate everything that's on this control panel all from your cell phone. So you can operate, you know, the awning, you can run that in or out, you could run in or out the slides, you could even check and see what your tank levels are all from your cell phone. So I think that just opens up a lot of universality with this, as you don't have to be inside here pushing buttons in order to operate your trailer. So as we had mentioned to you guys outside, the Grand Design is a bit better of an insulated product in comparison to everything else that's out on the market. So just kind of offer you that insight. I know these values are not going to mean anything to you, but they do R40 insulation in the roof, R30 insulation in the floor, and then R40 insulation in the front cap. The majority of manufacturers within the industry are going to have at minimum half of what these insulation factors are. Now, a lot of people think too, you know, wow, what about, you know, on that hot 100-degree summer day? Well, this is going to keep it much, much cooler inside during those hot 100-degree days. But then on a cold day like today, it's going to be much, much warmer inside. So you guys are going to be much more comfortable when you're done enjoying that outside lifestyle and you're coming back in to hang out for the night. All right, guys, so that concludes our feature advantage benefit presentation today on the 2021 Grand Design Imagine XLS 22 MLE. Be sure to subscribe for some more content. Make sure that you guys like us on Facebook and give us a follow on Instagram. And please do not hesitate, call or reach us here at 301-898-3300 or visit us at our website at www.BECKLEY'sRVS.com. Stay tuned for some more.